Welcome to That Thing I Read That Time, where I take a book and translate it into a visual representation or mind map to hopefully encourage new thoughts, ideas, and connections. Hope you enjoy. Today I am modifying the Laurel Studio 2025 Portrait Lined Planner into Zoomnotes. I have probably tried 50 different planners, digital planners, not even counting the paper ones, and always come back to this one. I love Laurel Studio. I think it's awesome. So let's make it happen. Here I'm in Zoomnotes, and I'm going to import a document from my cloud. And I'm going to import it. You can see these little question marks help you get more information to help you choose. So I'm going to import it as a digital planner. So now that I have the document in here, I personally moved all my toolbars down to the bottom. I like that better. I like having the sides open, and I like being able to reach everything from where I'm working. I don't want to have to keep coming up to do things. Pros and cons. Whenever I use text, sometimes the text bar will come up and it will cover up my pages thing here. And I just have to turn off the pages and turn it back on to keep it on the top. And then also there used to be a little shortcut to zoom in here that I lost. However, I can long press on anything and zoom if I want to do that zoom. Another quick thing that I've learned is because of the planner pencil that I have, I can press on the side and I get this extra little toolbar to come up. I haven't played with it very much. So what I'm going to do right now is add a grid. So I'm going to come to my tools and add a table. So notice it's all messed up. So I need to, it's basically where I want it to be. If not, then I could adjust that. But part of the problem is that I need 5 rows. So I know I need 5 rows. I can come here to the tools and come to the table, and it will give me my options. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. That was part of my problem. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Duh, I should have known that. So I can come here and I can say 7, and it will take care of that. Make sure I'm happy with the alignment. So now that I've done that, I'm going to come down here and say, yes, this is a calendar. So now that I know that it's a calendar, I can come to my settings and I can say this is a calendar page. And this is the month. This is the month of January. The cool thing about this okay, so you see automatically it starts filling in my calendar. I can already see I have different activities here on these days. This is not what I want. I don't want to see bubbles where my things are. I want to see what my things are. So I'm going to go ahead and work to modify that. So I can come down here. Notice this is a square dot thing. And so now I have my selection tool. So I long press on it. Notice it's locked. That's why my selection tool won't go away. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock it. And now I'm going to switch it to my table. And so now I have all my table features, and it'll keep coming up and saying, oh, well, what do you want to do with your table? Okay, so now I want to change. You can see that there's something going on, but I want to edit it. So I'm going to come to my Zoomnotes settings, and I'm going to come to my calendar, and I'm going to configure my events. So list just shows me the different stuff that's going on, whereas full shows me in context of stuff. Right now it's just showing me tasks. So here's my events. So you can see here, it kind of gives you an idea as to what your day is going to look like from the month. So you can see some of my recurring meetings. You can see when I have lots of tasks going on, stuff like that. And these are the calendar settings for the whole planner because I'm on the Z. So these are the calendar settings for the whole planner. If I want them to be a little different, then I can do stuff that's a little different. So now I've got it set up. So I'm still trying to decide if I want the full or the, I can change it later. Okay, decision made. All right, so if I decide, and I have in the past, I've said, look, I don't want my tasks on there. Well, this Z impacts your whole calendar. So if you want tasks anywhere in your calendar for your week or your days, you have to have it on here. But if you do not want your tasks for the month, then you come to your page settings and you come to your info settings and you say for this page, then I want the page to be different. So I'm making sure that it's a calendar page, it's January. Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna freeze the calendar settings. I'm gonna come to my page properties and I'm gonna freeze the calendar settings and I'm gonna edit the calendar settings. So now it's frozen. And so I'm gonna say, okay, so for this page, I do not want to show reminders. Personally, I have multiple businesses and multiple things going on in my life. So I really need to see my reminders, but you can do that if you want it to be cleaned up. You can also see the list of what's going on, and that might help you if you're wanting to see it a little differently. I'm not going to do that. I want to see my reminders, but you can customize this page setting. So now notice this this little thing right here. I have it shortcutted because as I've been learning Zoomnotes, so this is, I don't know, month 2. I started Zoomnotes last month. So I've been setting up a lot of customizations lately, so I use this a lot. But if you don't use it a lot, you need to make sure that your tools, you're looking at all of them. And I want to copy properties. So under selection, under page, I have copy properties to page. And then once you use it once, then it's recently used. And I have it shortcutted down here. So I have lots of options to copy the properties. I can copy my current layer, which right now my current layer is blank. I can copy the page settings, which if I had done something to customize these page settings, maybe I'd want to do that. I can come to my little question mark and it explains what the thing is. Personally, I want to, do you remember when I told you that you could turn off your reminders for this page? Well, those are your frozen calendar settings, so we could do that. But I want to move over my page calendar properties, and I want to do that for selected items. So I could use tags for this. All right, well, that's done. Now I'm gonna go to my week. All right, so for my week view, I have it a little different because I do not want to see my full week's plan. I want to see the tasks that I have to do for my different areas of responsibility. So this, I'm going to use a little different strategy. I'm going to be making a box. And in this box, again, I want to get the box my right size. In this box, I am going to turn it into a task list. But to show you guys what I mean about the text, so here I'm going to add text here. And so now notice things got all screwy down here in that my pages things disappeared and I can't reach my pages anymore. So, which is fine for now. So I'm gonna go and say law firm, oops. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this into, I've really started to like this Avenir book that Laurel Studios uses. And then I also want it to be kind of bigger. So now when I click off and click on again, here, I'm gonna go ahead and lock this back in my settings. I'm gonna press and hold, and I'm gonna move this back to the selection, select tool, and I'm gonna press and hold again, and I'm gonna lock it because I just like it being there all the time. The stuff that you use all the time, go ahead and like lock it down, right? So yeah, I've got that. Another one that I like to use is this pan and zoom. Personally, what I like about the tool pan and zoom is I can highlight all links and I like to make them blue. I really appreciate this about the Laurel Studio planner because she puts so many links, and I went a year not knowing where some of these links were, especially in my journal. So you come to the journal and you come to the notes. Dude, every single one of these is a sublink. And so here, if I come here to A, which let me turn on the pen. This is not my preferred. I prefer blue, and yeah, I can lock it down. I can create custom pens. So this one's A, and so my page is back up. So this one's A, so now I'm gonna come here to B. So yeah, I can add in my inserts underneath. So if this is like a travel page, like a travel plan, and so here are my food options, here's my adventure options, and so I can go in and add in lots of pages after each one of those subpoints, and I never would have known if I hadn't turned this on. And personally, I'm just like a blue fan. I like the color blue anyway, but that's the only thing that I use this pan and zoom for, is as soon as I get a new planner, I turn on that feature. And it makes me happy in my soul. So coming back to January, coming to the week, I've got my title, I've got my box. So I'm gonna come back to the box, and a box is one of my locked features. So I click on it now, and then I can go ahead and make this a calendar page, but I want it to be a reminder. But I only want my law firm stuff in there, so I'm gonna pick a calendar for the tag, and I'm gonna say I want my law firm stuff there. And for the fill, I want it to be transparent. It's angry with me. Transparent. Oh, I guess I didn't have it highlighted. So pick a calendar, and I'm gonna do, so notice all of these colors show up, lots of them. But now I want to narrow it down to just my law firm thing. So now instead of all of them, I just have the 2 that I'm interested in. And then I personally like to filter by date. So what does this mean? Day to start the filter is how many days in advance do I want to start the filter? So do I want to filter stuff that's today, or do I want it to only show me stuff that starts in a couple of days? And then how many days? And you can put the little question mark. So use this to specify the number of days that you're interested in, i.e. for a single day, for a weekend, whatever. And so I put this to like 10 days, or you can figure out what works for you. So maybe 2 weeks. I want to see every task that I have scheduled for the next 2 weeks. And it's going to show up here in my box. And that makes me happy. So now I'm going to make one of these boxes for each of my different areas of responsibility. So let me go ahead and do that. One of the things that differs from GoodNotes is you can't select things unless you highlight the whole thing. So I'm going to copy it. Another thing that I really like is this concept of copy and place. So copy and place, or paste and place, puts it exactly right back where you had it. So if you're working on something on one page and you realize you want to move it to someplace else, you can. If you're working on something in one layer and you realize that you want to move it to another layer, you can. That's cool. I like that. So this one, I don't want it to be the law firm. I'm going to go ahead and make this one my general reminders. And so now I have all of my general reminders. And then again, if it's showing you too many days or too few days, you just play with these date filters and figure out what works for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave it the way that it is now. One thing that took me a little while to figure out is how to edit the text. So you click. So right now it keeps selecting things. It's not what I want. So I want to, it was making boxes. So I'm going to tap once, and then for some reason, sometimes, which that worked, sometimes I have to hold my pencil in the other hand in order for it to pick up on things. Sometimes I have to sometimes I can click on it and then double tap with my pencil, but this is what happens a lot of times. It doesn't like that. So then I have to click off and click again and hold my pencil in the other hand and then double tap, and it'll always go in. But it's just little silly stuff like that. So I ended up making this a new box by accident. So that's cool. So I can go ahead and move it all around and get it set up. Then I'm going to say, okay, so for that box, I want it to only be my shopping list. So there's my shopping list, and I can move that over where I want it, and it's angry with me, so it's going to be a little delay in setting up, maybe because my shopping list is so long. There it goes. And then I need to go ahead and I can long press and copy, and then I can long press over here and I can paste. I could also paste in place. I could also use saved clips. When do I use saved clips? If I'm doing something that I'm pasting in a lot of different features, a lot of, like handwriting and boxes and lots of things, sometimes you want to use saved clips because it maintains the features of all of those sub things. I haven't figured out the pattern, but sometimes whenever you paste things, it pastes it all in as a group. And yeah, you can break up the group, but I would rather just not, because if I can find a way to be more efficient, I do that. Anyway, so this is the goal, for me to have it all set up this way with all my different areas of responsibility. And so this is where I will end with this, but this is how I do it. So as I'm going through every day I go through each of these. So on this day, I have a journal page set up where I have, I just realized I had gone crooked, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay. My bad. Okay. So I have a journal page that I put on here with little journal prompts. So like exploring the shadow and stuff like that. I'm big into self-improvement. So whatever. I have this daily journal page that I set up here. I use this as my diary. So I will come here and this was kind of sneaky. Grab image. This was not expecting that. So you press and hold. Oops, you have to press with your pencil. Copy. So it's on the paste board because the dude's British. Then I'm going to paste it. And so now I can get rid of these and turn this into a journal page. So now I have this set up, and then when I notice my pages things disappeared again because my text box popped up. So I just click on my pages and it'll surface it back to the top again. So I'm gonna click on my pages and I notice that all of these pages are in order, right? So here from 703, there should be 52 of them, to 755, they're all in order. So now whenever I go to copy my features, I want to come to my current layer because I actually have something in my layer now. I have 6 white boxes and I'm going to do selected. I forgot. And then this, I'm going to come down here for my show keyboard because I want to type this in this time. So I'm going to do 7, oops, don't be angry, to 755. So click copy. It says, are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, I'm sure. So now as I go through week 1 to whatever, all of these are now little mini journal pages. Let me go back to week 1 because that's what I'm setting up. So I'll do that same thing here when I set up my journal prompts for the week. It will be exactly like this. I will get that one page set up. I can also come here. If I realize that I keep interacting with the boxes, I can add a layer and I can lock it. Then I can create, I can make that happen with all the other pages. I can lock that stuff down. If I decide that any sort of customization I make, I use that exact same thing, those exact same features, but every day I click through all of these. I turn this into a mental health check-in. So I have my happy thought that I write over here. I'll show you what it looks like, but I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So this is my current version, what it looks like. So I have my mental health check-ins, like did I meditate? What are my happy thoughts? What are my intention for the day? So I'll grab these and move it over to the other using that exact same style that I just did. And then I can copy this information over to the other pages. You may be wondering why I have all of this stuff set up. So this is 10/22/2024, why it didn't narrow it down to the days. That's because I had not told it what week this is yet. And so once I do that, this other stuff is going to kind of disappear. So now I'm going to say that this is a calendar page, and I'm going to say that this is my week, and I'm going to say that it's a week starting December 29th of 2024. So now everything's disappeared because remember I had limited it to my days. So now I can copy those page properties through the rest of the week. and I already showed y'all how to do that. Let's go ahead and go to the dailies. So with the daily, I want to have a switch to a box, unlock, go to shape. Yes, this is what I want, shape. So I like making a shape right here for my tasks. So I'm going to say this is, I don't want to pick anymore. I just want it to show everything. So done. Okay, so I can see everything in there. You can change this text size too if the text size is too small for you. So I'm going to come to my my Z. This changes it for the whole PDF. I'm going to come to my configure events, and I'm going to do planner options. Then I'm here under week, under events, and I'm going to change the font size to, it was on 10. Notice nothing's changed, right? It's not until you click off that something changes. And that's what confused me for a while. It took me a while to get this figured out because I kept messing with this thing and it wasn't working. But anyway, yeah, so notice all of my font sizes got bigger. And if you wanted to change your text, so I could change it to that Avenir, come to my planner options again. Right now it's Helvetica, but I could change it to, but it's not until you click off that you see the change. Then I'm gonna come back and do my table. I'm gonna do the table here. Awesome. I want the table. And here's my box. Actually, I don't want it to cover the numbers. I do want it to come to the edge. I want it to come all the way up here and go all the way down there. Then my table is going to be one column, and I think it's 17. Go me. All right, so now I've got this calendar over here. So I need to declare this to be a calendar page. It's going to be a day. It's not as of today, but it's December 29th, 2024. And then this thing here, oops, this table here is actually also a calendar. And just with me clicking that right there, just me setting up the table and saying it a calendar, it's already going to say, and so we can see what day the Saints are going to be playing. So start time is 6 a.m. Oh, the day length is 17 hours. Yeah, I mean, that's how easy it is to set that up. And then now I can spend the rest of my life actually getting things done and organizing stuff instead, or decorating, or whatever fills my soul, instead of me copying this stuff. And I can go ahead and I can click right here and I can add an event right here, and it automatically puts it into my calendar. I can change my calendar and say, no, I don't want it in my law firm calendar. I want it in my family calendar or whatever. And it automatically pulls it into my phone. Anything that I do in my phone automatically pulls it over here. So here's my pay the mortgage tasks. I can mark it as completed. I can move those things around. I can put it into a different task list. I can create a new reminder. If I'm going to say, okay, yeah, I want to create a new reminder, all of it automatically goes into my phone. This is like a full integration. And yeah, it's amazing. It's miraculous. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's amazing. So here I'm going to go ahead and take these calendar features, and I'm going to say to take the page calendar properties, and I'm going to do it for, let's say, 5 pages, 972. So I'm going to do it to 969 to 972. Okay, so I'm going to come here under page, copy properties to page, page calendar properties for selected, and here I want it to be I'm going to wait to do any more because I want to make sure that my tasks are set up the way that I want. I like using word wrap reminders because then it wraps around and shows you the full information. So I only did 5 pages because I'm still learning, I'm still getting things set up, and if I end up changing something, I don't want to have to do all 365 pages, but eventually I will, like in a week or two when things settle. But so yeah. So in that time, we've set up our month. Every month is all set up and fully integrated with our phone, and have set up the weeks I didn't do every week. I just did that front week because I'm still working on it. But every week is going to also be integrated with the task list of my phone. And then also did every day, and it's fully integrated with my phone. And so now that I have a complete integration, I'm ready to start customizing. And yes, that was not my customization. That was just my integration. So hope you have fun.